sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Can't hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, this Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shell and Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on them, drop the facts on them. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the Dark Knight, and welcome back. Welcome us back. We're back. Eagles Talk. The Birds are in training camp, and we're back for this season, this upcoming season. Your Eagles Talk crew is back to go and cover the Eagles. That's what we're back. We're back to cover the Eagles, man. We've been going too long. We've been going. This is probably the longest off season we've had. We normally go year round, but this is the first year in a while that we've actually taken a off season break. I hope you guys missed us. I hope you guys are ready for our return. Because the rest of my crew isn't, because they're not here. I'm the only one here. I'm the only one here. But welcome me back. Pat's supposed to be here, so he's going to be here. Our queen of Eagles Talk is out doing political things, so she's not going to be here. But I'm here, and that's all we need. We need just me and you guys. You are the co-hosts, so I'm just happy that you guys are in the house. I'm sorry we're running a little bit behind. It's been a while since I've been in the studio, but I am raring to go. I'm raring to talk about our Philadelphia Eagles because I've been hearing so many good things. The open practice was even good. We had our own JT was in the house. He came up to check out the Eagles. So, JT, you got to give me your assessment in the chat room about what you saw, because what I hear is that it was magnificent, that I'm sorry, I'm about to say Donovan McNabb. I'm sorry. What I'm hearing is that Jalen Hurts is looking phenomenal. He's looking good this preseason, not having not thrown an interception yet in the preseason. Now I know the preseason it's only training camp, it's only practice. They can't really hit the quarterback. I understand that, but it does mean something. I'm not going to belittle it or downplay it, because if he was throwing interceptions, we would be worried about that, right? If we had reports from training camp that Jalen Hurts was throwing a lot of interceptions, we would be concerned about that. So I'm going to be elated that he's not. I know it's not the regular season. I'm not going to overplay it, but I'm not going to act like it's nothing either. Because like I said, if there was interceptions going on in training camp, we will be making a big deal out of it. So I am going to recognize the fact that he is doing well in training camp and has not thrown an interception yet. And I'm happy about that. That means to me that he is grasping this offense, that he is making quick decisions, that he is being wise with where to go with the football. And that all of those are good signs for our football team as we face a new season with a new offensive coordinator. So I'm ecstatic. I'm ecstatic that he is playing fluidly in practice. Now, on the flip side of the ball, maybe I should be a little concerned that our defense is not causing any turnovers, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I think the defense is still going to be much improved from last year. Hearing good reports about them also. Vic Fangio just had a press conference yesterday. I did watch that, and it's always, I like Vic, right? And I like Vic's an entertaining character. He comes, with tons of experience in the league, and he's a character to me. I mean, he's an entertainable coach to me, much along the lines of Buddy Ryan. He gives me a little Buddy Ryan with his personality. And I like that. He's a straight shooter. He didn't hesitate to say that Nakobe Dean has taken a step back since they moved to the stadium and practiced at the stadium. Wasn't scared to say that. Wasn't scared to call his players on the carpet. So I like Vic. I like what, I haven't seen him coach our team yet. All granted, I know about his track record. I saw what he did with Miami last year. I like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do with our defense here, and I am excited with his personality. He's an entertaining guy, not like Sirianni. Now Sirianni does talk a lot, but he's not as entertaining as Vic is. Neither is Kellen Moore, who had a press conference today. I didn't get a chance to catch that. You guys have to fill me in on how that went. But I'm liking what I'm hearing from training camp, and we're going to talk about all of it. And so without further ado, let me bring you guys into the conversation. Oh, I guess this will be a good time to start the first quarter. So you guys, we are coming back from a long off-season layoff. We are happy to be here. I am here solo as of this moment. I'm hoping to be joined by Pat, my co-host Pat. Nichelle will not be able to join us tonight, but we will be back from here on out till the end of the season. Now, let me just say this, because there's going to be a little change in the schedule. All right, so as you notice, we're here on a Tuesday night. I'm in class. I'm in class on Thursday. All right, so I'm not going to be able to do Thursday up until August 22nd. August 22nd is my last class on Thursday. So after August 22nd, we will be returning to the Thursday regular schedule lineup. Now, we have started a podcast, audio podcast, so you can catch this episode here and our previous episodes. You can catch it on your podcast platforms tomorrow. I'll upload it tonight and it'll be on there tomorrow. So if you can't make the show all the time, there's no need to fret. You can always go to our YouTube channel, catch the video. And if you're riding in the car and you want to listen to the show, you can pull up your favorite podcast platform and catch us there too. So those are the ways that you can keep up with Eagles Talk. We have a spectacular season in store for you guys coming up. But without further ado, let me do what we do best. All right, so you are watching and listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. And we do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Now, none of my co-hosts are here who actually drink, so I am going to be doing non-alcoholic shot. So here we go. Everybody out there, let me know what you guys are partaking in as we kick off our Eagles Talk season tonight. Let me know in the chat room what you guys are partaking in. All right, so I'm just drinking a little Canada Dry. I like this. It's a Fruit Splash ginger ale. Fruit Splash ginger ale, cherry ginger ale. I like this. All right, so let's get the show on the road. So everybody, raise your drink to our Philadelphia Eagles, and down the hatch, here we go. 3. Oops, hold up. Let me get my soundboard. I forgot. I got to do it all tonight. I don't have an engineer. I don't have a producer. I don't have anything. I don't have a co-host. I'm here doing it solo, and so I've got to pull up my own soundboard. All right, let me see. All right, there it is. All right, here we go. So here we go, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. All right, first quarter, and let me go to my co-host. That's you guys in the room. We thank you guys, all of you guys, for showing up and supporting tonight. Hey, welcome back. Jabari wasn't the first one in the room, but I just saw him back, so I just wanted to throw him up on the screen. For those that are listening to the audio podcast, there's a video podcast going on at the same time. So when I refer to these names, I'm talking about the people who are in the chat room watching us on YouTube and or Facebook, and now you can even watch us on IG. So on those 3 platforms, there are people in the chat room, and I am just talking about. I'm just referring to them when I talk about the names. So the first person in the chat room tonight is one JT. Well, actually, that was before we even went on air. He was ready at 6:31. All right, so officially, JT was in the chat room on YouTube at 6:31. We didn't start until 7:15. So he was really early. So I'm not going to count him as the first one. The first official person since the show started is them damn Andrew Slots. All right, I don't know what that is. But he says, what up, family? Let's have a great season. I'm with you on that. Jeremiah Andrews was second. He said, it's that time of year. Let's go Eagles. You're right. Brad Mitchell Jr., take your bias away. Do you trust the Eagles transition to a 3-4? Yes, I trust it. Because it's a hybrid. It's not like, it's a hybrid. You're going to see you're going to see multiple fronts. You're going to see multiple fronts. You're going to see a lot of 5-2. Don't get it twisted. You're going to see a lot of 5-2, maybe some variations of 4-3. So, yeah, I'm okay with this 3-4. We've been doing it for the past few years now. Don't get it twisted. We've been doing it for the past 2 or 3 years. Every one of our previous defensive coordinators has come from the Vic Fangio school of defense. They've been running his philosophy for the past 3 years. So if you think his philosophy is a 3-4, then we've been doing that for the past 3 years. They just do a lot of different looks. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I was okay with it when we went to the Super Bowl. There was nothing wrong with it then. When we had the third most sacks in league history, I was okay with it. So I'm going to be okay with it until, of course, I'm not. So I'm going to be okay with it until I'm not, until it's not working. Then I won't be okay with it. But going into the season, unbiased, yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. I just want to see a much improved defense from last year. And from what I'm hearing just today, that this defense or this team is practicing with more physicality than last year. Hear what I say. This team is practicing with more physicality than last year. Everyone should be. I'm going to give them a standing ovation. Yes. Everybody should be clapping and jumping up and down to hear that. This team, especially the defense, and I'm hearing that the defense is playing with more physicality, that Vic Fangio is injecting more physicality in the defense, mentality, the physical mindset. And that was absent last year. Our defense was soft. Our defense was soft. They didn't want to tackle. It looked bad. It looked bad, right? So to hear that he has them, I heard from Elliot Shore-Parks on WIP today, give his daily report and said that, and he was asked, are the Eagles playing, are they practicing with more physicality? And he said, for sure, definitely, yes, they are. So that's a great sign to me because that defense was unrecognizable. That defense was not representative of Philadelphia Eagles football, in my opinion. You guys tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. Was that defense what we're used to? Right? I don't think so. So to hear that they are playing with more physicality, nastier, being taught to tackle more violently, I love that. I love that. So yeah, I'm going to give them a round of applause just for that. All right, so returning to the offensive side of the ball, like I said in the opening, Jalen Hurts is looking really good, and that is wonderful news. Wonderful news because I said in the opening that this team, that I expect that this defense will be much improved from last year, right? Because last year we were a disaster on defense. But if you recall, if you've been watching this program, I also said that my biggest disappointment or the biggest disappointment of last year when I had to compare units, offense, defense, special teams, was the offense to me. Defense stunk. Don't get me wrong, they stunk. But my biggest disappointment was the offense. Why? Why do you say that, Dark Knight? Because we had offensive talent. I can make a great case, and you can too, that we didn't have the best defensive talent on the field last year. And you couple that with a defensive coaching staff that wasn't very good, and that's why you get the shipwreck on defense. So I wasn't putting a lot of blame on the defense, although they suck. I thought that the offense was more disappointing because we had the personnel, we had the talent, we were pretty healthy all year, and for our offense to look as anemic as it did after the 49ers came and snatched our souls, from that game on, we were just soulless. But after that, our offense just was very disappointing, and I thought that was a bigger letdown than defense because we had offensive talent. We had Jalen Hurts. We had Swift. We had AJ. We had Devontae, Goddard. We had our offensive line. We had our offense, and I would dare say that it might have even been more talented than the unit that went to the Super Bowl the previous year. So to me, the offense was a big problem, a bigger letdown last year. So coming into this year, to hear that they are working, that Jalen is smooth, is operating efficiently and has a good grasp of the offense, really excites me, because although I think the defense is going to be much improved, our offense is going to have to carry us. That's what I feel. I feel that the offense is going to have to carry us just as it could have last year. Even with the defense looking as bad as it did, if our offense had performed up to its capabilities, I think we would have, think about it. With that defense, we were 10-1 with that defense. If our offense could have performed up to its capability, we could have gone a little further in the playoffs. I'm not going to say Super Bowl, but we could have gone a little further. We were looking good early on. I mean, we won some tough games, but tough games build character. I wasn't, and you guys everybody was right with being excited at 10-1, even with the problems or that we might have seen, right? Because it doesn't matter how you win as long as you win. Right. And I know that we're the Eagles fan base, and we like to worry all the time. And there's always, we can be winning, we can be 10-1, and we've got this. Well, you didn't do this, we didn't do that, man. Why can't we just embrace our team when they're doing good? That's what I do. I just embrace us when we're doing good, man. I mean, albeit those naysayers or those people that were doubting or looking at the problems more than the successes happened to come out on top last year because we fell apart at the end. I don't like to be a pessimist. I like to look at the glass always half full. So at 10-1, I was looking at it at 3/4 away full. And it's just unfortunate that we had to collapse. But anyway, this year, with this offense, looking as it does in training camp, bodes well for us. What would you rather have, a dominant defense or a dominant offense? Tell me. Tell me in the chat room. What do you rather have, a dominant offense or a dominant defense? I'll take the dominant offense. And, I'm not saying give me a trash defense, but if you gave me an average defense, average to a little above average defense, and gave me a dominant offense, I'll take that. We've seen teams win with that. We've seen the Kansas City Chiefs win like that. Don't look at last year, because they had a good defense last year. Look at the year they beat us. Their defense was not that good. Not that good. We put up points on that defense. That defense was not that good, but their offense is what carried them. And this is an offensive league nowadays. So I'll take a offense that is hitting on all cylinders And that's what it looks like this offense is doing in training camp. I know it's only week 2 in training camp, and we have a long way to go. But it's something I am excited about. You tell me. It's something I'm excited about. All right, so let's get into what I'm hearing. What are you guys hearing? Offense can't win if we can't score. Yeah, I know that. But that's what, Adam, I'm saying. It looks good. I'm saying if Jalen Hurts has a good grasp of the offense, and from what I'm hearing coming out of camp, he does, I'll take that. I'll take that all day. I'll take that over a dominant defense. As a matter of fact, if this offense is back to its Super Bowl losing year efficiency, we're going back. I believe we're going back. So I don't want to jump ahead of myself. Let's just talk about what we're hearing from training camp. So AJ's doing good. Devontae, the whole gang's there. Everybody's healthy right now. Hearing about offensive line, and Tyler Steen is out. His place has been taken by Mekhi Becton, and he's been running with the ones, doing an okay job. Hopefully, when Tyler gets back, he will get his position back. But I'm not, at this point, I'm not rooting for anyone. I'm really not. I'm not rooting for any one player. I'm rooting for the best player. That's all I want. I just want the best player at every spot. If you guys have been watching me long enough, if you guys have been watching me long enough, I root for the name on the front of the jersey. That's where my allegiance is. I do root for the name on the back, but my allegiance is to the name on the front of the jersey. So whoever is the best player, they need to be playing. That's just it. So Tyler, he was named he came into camp running with the ones, getting most of the first team reps. That says a lot, because you went to offensive line to get a lot of reps together in training camp. So if there are going to be some battles, you want to I think there's a shorter leash on offensive linemen battles, because you kind of want that, solidified as quickly as possible so that the unit that's going to be starting gets as many reps together as they possibly can. So Tyler Steen opened up as the first team right guard next to Lane Johnson, and in between Lane and Cam Jurgens. And with the injury, I forget what the specific injury is, but he's been out, and Mekhi Becton has been running with the first team. So, whoever's the best one, I don't care. Whoever's the best one, get in there, play, and let's dominate. I think there's an interesting battle going on with the third wide receiver, and it's coming down to a couple people. Darn it. Let me get my Paris Campbell is one. He actually, the depth chart came out a little earlier, and Paris Campbell seems to be the leading that list. John Ross is in that running, and Wilson, I forget Wilson's name, a rookie, 6'6" rookie, who has been doing well in training camp. Patrick Sandlin, why are you there, Pat, when you said you were going to be here? I don't need you in the chat room. I need you on the air. All right, that's just something between me and Pat. All right, so that's shaping up to be a battle. Paris Campbell, John Ross, the speedster, Wilson, the rookie, 6'6" rookie, and Covey. Actually, Covey's in the running too. Johnny Wilson, yeah. He might be the 3 wide receivers. And they said they like him. Yeah, all right, thank you, Jeremiah. Jeremiah, that's why I don't need you now, Pat, because I have my co-hosts. My co-hosts in the chat room are even telling me when to end the quarter. So let me end this first quarter. All right, so one thing that's not been forgotten is people want when it's time for their the shot time. They're like, all right, come on in the quarter, man. We got to do another shot. All right, so you are listening to Watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. Now, my shot takers are not here in studio anyway, but they are out there. I know you guys are in the room. So let me know what you guys are enjoying at home, and any beverage that you enjoy and you're an adult is indeed an adult beverage. So my adult beverage for the night is the Canada Dry Fruit Splash Cherry Ginger Ale. And this is no sugar also. All right, so everybody, let's raise our glasses to our Philadelphia Eagles and salute down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. All right, second quarter. Yep, shot time that way. When Dion get on, he can be 3 shots behind. Yeah, that's what's up, Jeremiah. Yeah, I posted on my social media me and my basketball workout. I usually do a basketball workout on Sunday. Go play with the old heads, nowhere near what I used to could do, but just as a means of exercise. Because you got to keep the body moving, guys. I don't care how old you are, and if you are older, definitely you have to keep the body moving. Exercise is so important. If you don't use it, you will lose it. So keep moving. It is so key to your health when you get older. All right, for those that are younger, you better be moving around. Come on, you better be moving around. So with that in mind, it's no better way or better motivation to work out or exercise than to do something that you enjoy doing. If you enjoy doing, then you don't mind doing it. I don't care if it's just walking. If you enjoy walking, then you'll get out there and walk. I don't care if it's jumping rope or whatever it is. And to me, it's basketball. So I like to go shoot around even at my age. Just go shoot around and play a little pickup when I can. And I did so on Sunday. And I say that because Dion saw the post and he posted a picture of him shooting shots too. So Dion is always trying to one-up somebody, and he is late tonight. I know he'll be here soon. But getting back to the Philadelphia Eagles. So the third wide receiver spot seems to be a little battle. So far with the current depth chart, Paris Campbell seems to be at the top of that list right now, but I think that it is far from over. Goddard is, he's the number 1 tight end. Calcaterra is the number 2 at the moment, and what I'm hearing, it doesn't look like there's anyone that's really pressing him right now. So that's okay. Our offensive line, Saquon is back there. He's going to be the starter. That. The offensive line, Mailata, Dickerson, Jurgens. The right guard spot is up in the air right now. Becton is there, and then Lane Johnson. So that's kind of solidified. So it's probably no wonder that the offense is looking good, because these guys have played together a while. Only thing that remains to happen is for them to get on the same page, because it's a new offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore is in the house, and we're seeing from reports, we're seeing a lot more motion, and that's good, because our offense was, what did I say? What was the phrase I used? Our offense last year looked like unseasoned soul food. It was unseasoned soul food. Now, if you're black or African American, you know how soul food is very flavorful, very seasoned, right? And our offense looked like unseasoned soul food. It was that bland. It was that regular. It was like boiled potatoes. It was horrible. So just to hear of more motion, Kellen Moore is adding some spices. Who would have thought? A white man is putting some spices in the soul food. We're going to have some seasoned soul food this year. And I can't wait. I can't wait to see how they use Saquon. I can't wait to see this offense in action. I'm just excited. I was hanging out last night talking with the boys, and, we've all, since I live in Delaware, I don't live in Philadelphia. So I got a lot of different fans that live around me. And most of them are NFC East fans. I got some Giants fans. I got some Commanders fans, and of course the Cowturds, because they're everywhere. And we were having a discussion, and they're even saying that they think that we should do very well this year. Kind of weird to hear that, but and they're not faking me out anyway, because I'm confident too. I'm pretty confident too. All right, let me go to some comments, because I've not brought you guys into the conversation much. So let me see what you say. All right, so earlier when I said, what would you rather have, a dominant offense or dominant defense? Jeremiah says, give me the defense. JT is talking about the New Year's Day game. Let's go Birds. He says New Year, New Day. Let's go Birds. All right, that's what's up. Adam Pena, when answering that offense versus defense question, he says offense. Can't win if you can't score. Richard says offense all day. JT is pointing out the fact that CJ GJ is hurt as well. And I saw that I'm hurt. I saw that they didn't think it was a long-term injury. I haven't heard any updates. If anybody out there has any updates, please put it in the chat room. I'm sorry. And Richard Layton, what's up, Richard? He says he thinks that Johnny Wilson might be the third wide receiver. And I don't think it's Eston Stone, but yeah, I'm hearing some good things from him too. So much so that Jalen is throwing him the ball in the red zone, which means that he trusts this rookie to make a play. So that's great. 6'6" He's a big target down there. I don't care who's the third wide receiver. Whoever it is, just catch the damn ball. Don't be like Quez. Catch the damn ball. That's all I'm at. That's all I'm worried about. All right, so Tony's in the house from down under. Our resident from down under Australia, Tony, says, yo, Bird fam, is it footy season yet? Hell yeah, says JT. Hell yeah. All right. Take care of your body, because they want you to do back surgery. Oh, wow, yeah. You got it. Yeah. I know. That's hard. I'm going to pray for you. Richard, I'm sorry. Yeah, we're going to pray for you, Richard. Back surgery is no joke. I hope that it brings you some relief. Having a little back issue myself, and it's not a good feeling. All right, so getting back to the Eagles. So the offensive side of the ball, things seem to be going well. We have a preseason game this week against darn it, who was the game against? I forgot that quick. Oh, Baltimore. I'm sorry. Baltimore Ravens, right? And we're not going to see much. I don't think we're going to see the starters. I hope that we do. I hope that we see them, man. I know that these past couple of years we've been relatively healthy. I don't know. Last year we kind of had some injuries, but the Super Bowl year was one of our healthiest. And I know that it kind of drove home the philosophy of not playing your starters in the preseason. But I think last year might have swayed it back towards, swayed the needle back towards the other side, because this team was not prepared. Well, I'm not going to say they weren't prepared. I'm going to say they weren't physical enough, right? Talked about it earlier. They were not physical enough. And I think you gain that physicality from practicing. No one wants to start the season. No one wants to start getting physical in the first week of the season. I've often said that because of this current training camp regimen, that the first month of the season, September, is just an extended preseason, because they don't play the first team in the preseason game, so they're really getting their time and their snaps in during the first month of the season. They're really getting acclimated to game speed and the physicality of the game the first month of the season. So I hope that last year's results kind of pushes the needle back towards the other way, back towards the old school preseason football, where we at least see the first team out there a little bit. Come on. And it wasn't that much. It wasn't that much. If we go back over the old way of handling the preseason, it was like what? It was they would get like the first team would get maybe a series or two in the first game. If the offense looked good, they scored a touchdown. That's all they needed, one series. If they didn't, if they looked that bad, they might keep them out there for a second, a third, maybe 2 or 3 series at the most in that first game. Second week, you may get half the first quarter or the first quarter, closer to the first quarter. Third game, you get the half. And then the fourth game, everyone's sitting down. So you're talking about 3 quarters, 3.5 quarters, 3.2. If I'm I'm a math guy. 3.2 quarters in the entire preseason, and they cut that back to nothing. Your starters got 3.2 quarters of preseason work out of 4 games in the past, and they have determined that that's too many. That's too much. And and I know they're trying to avoid the injuries, and I know that I can't even do analytics at this point because they're not playing at all in the preseason. So, of course, now today's numbers are going to look stellar versus the old way of doing it. Because if you're not playing them, there's no injuries, 0 injuries to your first team when they're not playing at all. But I would challenge the numbers by going back and seeing what was the rate of injury when the first team played those 3.2 quarters in the preseason. It could not have been that great. I know there was risk involved, but it could not have been that great. And I like to see a little return to that. If we're going to be a nasty defense, man, you don't do that. I mean, the joint practices really help if you allow them to hit there, but you're not going to allow them to beat each other up in practice. They've got to get practice hitting people. They've got to get practice being nasty against somebody. And you can only do that in playing in the game. All right, so we face Baltimore this week. I don't expect to see anything. I am excited for the game, don't get me wrong, because at this point, you're cheering. It changes. It has to grow or change with the game. So now I'm rooting or excited to see our draft picks, the second team. I'm excited to see them because I want to see what our depth looks like. Because if there are any injuries, we're going to see those guys. So I like to see what they look like. So that's what I look forward to now. But I want to see the first team get some snaps, man. I want them to come out. I want them to be sharp, man. We can't sleep on the first game of the season. It's Green Bay. Green Bay has improved. We saw that. They were in the playoffs last year, and they were very close to knocking off, was that San Fran? Knocking off San Fran. They were in the game. So don't think that, Jordan Love is the truth. I had him on my fantasy team last year, and I won the whole thing. So he's good. You know what I'm saying? He's good. So we can't sleep. We can't expect that we're going to go in there and we're going to chalk it up. We got to be prepared for that game. So anyway, facing Baltimore, I don't think we're going to see anything but vanilla. We're going to see unseasoned soul food, definitely. It might just be boiled cabbage this week. because we play the Baltimore Ravens, so we're not going to give them anything to put on film for later on in the year. So, yeah, expect to see boiled cabbage this week. There's not going to be anything, no spices, nothing. It's not even going to be vanilla. It's going to be boiled cabbage. It's going to be so basic. But I still want to see the guys. I still want to see them. Moving to the defense. All right, I'm going to stop this quarter. Let's just end this quarter and go into the third quarter. All right, you are listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by Eagles fans, for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, that is the Philadelphia Eagles. We talk about them in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And any beverage that you're drinking and you happen to be an adult would be considered, yes, an adult beverage. So my adult beverage is the Canada Dry Fruit Splash Cherry Ginger Ale, 0 sugar. Very flavorful. I like it. No calories. I can do this. So let me know what you're drinking out there in the chat room. And I'm 2 shots behind. Yeah, Frank is in the chat room. He says he's 2 shots behind. Let him catch up. Yeah, you do 2 shots while we do this one. Now, actually, this is the third quarter, right? So you got to do 3s. All right, so here we go. Everybody, down the hatch to our Philadelphia Eagles. 3, 2, 1. All right, third quarter. So we haven't talked about the defensive side of the ball, not too much. So after listening to Vic Fangio's press conference, he was asked about some players. One, I remember Nakobe Dean, and I talked about a little earlier in this podcast, this episode, and what he said was Nakobe was doing good. He was doing good earlier in camp. But he has taken a step back since they have moved practices to the stadium. This is bittersweet information. I like to hear that Nakobe started off training camp doing well, right? We root for this guy. We were excited to get Nakobe Dean coming out of Georgia. Dynamic linebacker, heat-seeking missile, and we hope that would translate to the professional level. We understand that he was undersized, but we've seen some undersized linebackers have Hall of Fame careers, and that's what we were hoping for Nakobe Dean. But it's not been the case. He has been injured. He's looked impressive, not nearly as much as we'd like him to look impressive. I remember his rookie year coming in and having to replace, I forget who it was that went out that year, but he had to replace him, and he looked absolutely marvelous. I think it was a game against the Indianapolis Colts, and he looked great. But last year, when it was his time, his opportunity to step into a much bigger role, he was often injured, and didn't play too much last year. So this is the start of a new year and another opportunity, and I think it may be one of his last to be an integral part of the defense. I think this may be his last shot. So it's not good to hear that he started off good and he has taken a step back since they've moved to the stadium. I'm rooting for the kid. We need linebackers. Not only, I'm rooting for him, but we need playmaking line. We need better linebacking play when we compare it to what we saw last year. All right, Pat's out there. He said he had replaced T.J. Edwards in that game that I'm talking about. Oh, I miss T.J. Edwards. Why couldn't we just give him the money, Howie? Oh, that was just And it's not time to beat up on Howie. I love Howie. Howie's the wizard of the salary cap. But that was one of those ones he let get away. And because of that, we are still seeking adequate linebacker play out of our linebackers, and hoping that Nakobe was going to take that step up. And it's disappointing to hear that he has taken a step back. I do like that Vic had no problem letting us know just where it was. That's the part of Vic that reminds me of Buddy Ryan. And I don't think it was too embarrassed or anything like that. I think it was done in a way to kind of light a fire, right? And to be transparent, right? I think it was his veteran way of trying to motivate Nakobe to doing better. So I like that. That's why I like Vic. I like Vic's personality. What else are we hearing? We're hearing that Isaiah Rodgers is on the first team depth chart, playing cornerback, outside cornerback, across from Darius Slay today, as when they released the depth chart today. Isaiah Rodgers is the other outside cornerback along with Darius Slay. So that's good. We've been hearing some great things about Isaiah Rodgers since OTAs. And he's continued to do the same in this training camp. I said at the beginning, was it the beginning of this, or was it last year? I forget when I mentioned this, but I thought that it was an excellent pickup by Howie, because this guy was a baller in Indianapolis. He had just gotten caught up in doing some things that he shouldn't have done, so he was suspended last year. And Howie rolled the dice and took a chance on him, and he is getting that player that was with the Indianapolis Colts. He's got that player. And it says a lot that he has emerged thus far as the first team outside cornerback opposite of Slay, because we drafted arguably the best corner in the draft. Actually drafted two of the top 3 or 4 corners in the draft. Cooper DeJean, who's injured right now and with a hamstring issue, and he's missing valuable snaps, but we'll talk about that later. So it says a lot that Isaiah has emerged as the first team outside cornerback with Quinyon Mitchell on the team, who's arguably the best cornerback in the draft. You'd expect that he would be the future outside cornerback. And he has had good training camp and OTAs. He has. So to see Isaiah be named that must mean that he is doing an excellent job out there, and Vic really likes him. Now, don't get down on Quinyon, because he is getting a lot of first-team reps in the slot. You've been reading the reports. He's been talking trash to AJ and Devontae, and he's been backing it up for the most part, and I like that. I like that from him. I like that in him. I like that. You imagine Darius, Isaiah, and Quinyon? We're locking people down. That's a big giant step from last year when we couldn't stop anybody. When we had Bradbury out there, Burntberry, they was calling him. Burntberry, oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. But to hear that we have corners that's out there, and I've said this in the past, right? But this year is so appropriate, right? You know, in the past, you would hear, because we've had cornerback issues, secondary issues for a while, right? For a while now, right? It seems like every year we now I guess that year we went to the Super Bowl with Bradbury and Slay. We were kind of covered there. But prior to them, even in our Super Bowl winning year, I mean our corners did an admirable job in the playoffs, but they were far from being considered a top secondary group. Right? So we've had deficiencies in our secondary for a while. And I remember going into camps and they would say that the corners are doing good in camp. And I will always point out it's not really a good indication when our wide receivers weren't, it was always false because I would look at who our wide receivers were. And we didn't have top-notch wide receivers. So if they were doing good, it was kind of misleading because you would feel good like, oh, they're doing a great job. But then you think about it, they were covering Quez Watkins, Aguilar. And although Aguilar turned out to be an okay wide receiver, but, these guys are not really scaring anybody. They were covering these guys, Jordan Matthews. They were covering these guys and having okay camps, and we were all excited. Well, that has definitely changed. These corners we're hearing good reports about these corners having good days at training camp. It means something because who they're having good days at training camp against? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert. They are being challenged at training camp now. So when I hear that my cornerbacks had a good day, or when you hear who won the position battles today, the D-backs, the secondary got over on the wide receivers, that means something now. That means something. You got a young Mitchell going up against AJ and talking smack, even if he's getting burnt sometimes. Iron sharpens iron. That's how you get welcomed into the league. That's how you get better. You come in here, you start talking smack, and you're playing every day against one of the top 5 receivers in the league. Yeah, you're going to get better. Everybody's going to get better. Isaiah is going to get better. Slay is going to get better. Mitchell's going to get better. And then opposite of that, AJ's going to get better. Devontae's going to get better. Goddard's going to get better. Iron sharpening iron. So I am encouraged that we have secondary depth. He spoke a little bit about CJ. He said that he likes him. Now I didn't hear him, and this just may be his personality. He wasn't overly excited about CJ. He just said, oh no, he did pay him a compliment. He said that he was out there one day, and I just was like, yo, I'm not, you're going unnoticed. Like you're going unnoticed. But he emphasized that that's a good thing. When you are not being noticed and the ball's not coming your way, that's a great thing. He's not making any mistakes. That's what, because in training camp and practice, not hearing your name called is a good thing. I'm saying because it's a lot of talking there. When you're not doing good, they're letting you know. They're calling your name out. So in training camp is a good thing when your name's not being called out like that. That's not a bad thing. And that's the compliment that he gave, that he told him, like, yo, you're going unnoticed, which is a good thing. The play's not coming your way and you're not doing anything detrimental or wrong. And that's great. So CJ is handling his business. Cooper DeJean is hurt, missing valuable reps. I think he needs those reps because he was going to play a big part in the secondary, and I think that timetable it's going to be pushed back now because of the, we're talking about 2 weeks. He's missed already this week and last week, and it is forecast that he may miss another 2 weeks. So these are valuable snaps that he could be getting, and he had done so well in OTAs. And we were going to use him in multiple positions. Let me go to some of the comments that you guys have in the chat room. I have. JT says, Dark Knight, do you think you fearless? Yeah, I'm fearless. Yeah, oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that the little clip. All right, so he's bringing up, there was a clip of Jalen and Saquon at practice. And Saquon asked Jalen, did he think he was fearless? And Jalen says, yes, he's fearless. Yeah, I thought you was asking me. Yeah, I'm fearless. Yeah, I share the same mindset as our quarterback. Yes, I do think I am fearless. All right, so who said, Jeremy, who you talking to when you say you 4 behind, extra 1 for being late? Who's that? That's not Deion. Did Deion show up? Deion didn't show up. All right, Q is an interchangeable cornerback. He can play both sides, inside out. Yes, he can, and he's doing so now. So he's getting a lot of run with the first team secondary as the slot corner, so that's good. I want to see him on the field. Locked down with the blitz. I know. If we can throw some blitz, Jeremiah says locked down with the blitz. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Don't forget we got Sidney Jones. What? Sidney Jones. Sidney Jones was toast. Well, we kind of took a risk on Sidney Jones because he was billed as the top corner in that draft, and then he got hurt at the combine. So we thought we were getting a bargain, but we got a bust. All right, so Stan Mason says, I'm back another year and I'm ready. And we are ready also. So let me remind you guys that we do have an audio podcast now. This is not just a video podcast. This is not just something you find on YouTube. You can find this on YouTube, but it is an audio podcast. If you go to your favorite audio podcast platform, you will see Eagles Talk. We're on Spotify. We're on Apple Music. We're everywhere. We're on iHeartRadio. We're on Tuned In. We're on all your major platforms that you listen to your podcast. So this episode will be up tomorrow. Make sure you go and download it. We can use the streams. Tell your friends about it too. Tell everyone about Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. We need those downloads. We definitely do. All right, so I'm pushing an hour here, so I'm going to end this quarter, and we're going to have a quick 2-minute fourth quarter. All right, okay, so, I'm sorry, Sidney Brown. All right, he's talking about Sidney Brown. Okay, all right, so this is the end of the quarter. Oh. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there with me, my co-host for the evening, you guys in the chat room. You're listening to Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around. That's by us Eagles fans, for us Eagles fans, and here on Eagles Talk, we talk about our favorite football team. That is the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully the Super Bowl-bound Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. And if you're an adult and enjoying a beverage, that is considered an adult beverage. So I am partaking in the Canada Dry Fruit Splash Cherry Ginger Ale, 0 sugar. Very tasty and very refreshing. You guys let me know what you're drinking out there. And here we go as we salute our Philadelphia Eagles down the hatch. 3, 2, 1. All right, so this is going to be a quick fourth quarter because I don't like to go over an hour too much, and we are at an hour. So in this fourth quarter, those that are left, please let me know in the chat room what you are looking forward to seeing in the preseason game this weekend. Who are you looking forward to seeing? What battles are you looking forward to seeing? I'll just share mine. I am looking to see the linebacker play, like I talked about. I'm very interested in how that is shaping up. I didn't get a chance, or didn't spend a lot of time talking about those guys. I talked about Nakobe. Darn, I'm getting a blank. But the other two, Devin and Zach Bond, are getting a lot of first team reps. And I didn't hear him necessarily praise those guys. And I don't know. And maybe that's why they signed a linebacker this week or last week, the end of last week or something. But he did mention, and I'm talking about Vic Fangio, that is, did mention how important inside linebackers are in this game today and how different inside linebacker play is in today's game. How it has changed from practically being a thumper to having to, cover a lot more, having to have versatility and athleticism. When they took the fullback out, tight ends came into play and more into play. So there was no need for thumpers per se. You needed more versatile, athletic linebackers, and you need good linebacker play to have an effective defense. So I'm going to be looking at that matchup. That position battle. Pat is out there. Pat says he's going to be looking at Will Shipley and the new kickoff rule. Oh, Devin White is that other linebacker. And Trot Jr., Jalix Hunt. Yeah, that'd be somebody to look out for. Richard Layton said he'll be keeping his eye on Johnny Wilson. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'll be looking at him too. Because part of me is a little disappointed that I'm not going to be seeing the first team too much, but you guys are reminding me so quickly that there is a lot to be looking forward to this game. And just those players right there have reignited my excitement for this game this weekend. I do want to see Johnny Wilson. I heard he's been doing an excellent job in the red zone, so I want to see him. I want to see Jalix Hunt. I want to see if this young guy with a high motor is going to be able to contribute. I want to see Trot Jr. also. And these are guys that we may or may not see a lot of during the regular season, but we've got to see what they have, right? They're on the team, and they may have to contribute at some point, barring injury. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully we can stay healthy. But if that's not the case, these guys are the depth on the team. So I kind of want to see how they are, if we're going to be in trouble if someone goes down or if we're going to be okay until they make it back. Christopher Burton says, my man from Tampa has stepped up as a leader on the field and locker room, which is good for the team. That is one Devin White. That's great. Will Shipley, the running back. I want to see him too. Yep. The new kickoff rule. JT says, and Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter. I don't know how much we'll see of them, but I hope that we do, JT. I do want to see them. I do want to see them, and I think that we will. I think if Vic is the kind, like I said, his personality reminds me of Buddy Ryan, and he strikes me as the guy that you're not going to be able to tell him who he's going to play. You can probably suggest. You telling him will probably be seen as a suggestion from him. You know what I'm saying? By him. So you could say, we don't want the guys to play, and he'll take it as a suggestion. I'll think about it. But I think that Vic is going to allow those guys to get some reps because he wants those guys to be playing with physicality, right? He wants them to be violent. You can't be violent if you don't play. So, you practice, you try to hype them up, you try to keep them motivated and in a violent state of mind. Well, that's all week against your teammates. You got to let these pit bulls out. You got to let these pit bulls out against some competition. So, you got to let the pit bulls out. So let them out. Let them get a couple series so we can be ready when the season starts. But, man, I'm going to call it a night. I thank you guys so much for coming. And remember, we're back now. The season's on. It's training camp. No more weeks off. No more days off. Keep in mind, we will be recording our podcast on Tuesday nights until August the 22nd when I finish class, and we'll go back to recording our podcast on Thursday nights. But Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock until further notice. I'm your man, the Dark Knight, for my co-hosts in their absence, Pat and Nichelle. We will see you guys next Tuesday. I'm out. Peace.
We go live in 5, 4, 3, 2. Smash him up, crack that fool. Quarterback crack, yo, sack that fool.